8 of the most fearsome warriors history has ever seen. 1. Shivaji Maharaj. The fact that no Indian can mention his name without adding the word Maharaj must tell you something about his greatness. A king who fought for the freedom of his people, and not just his kingdom, was physically unfit to be a warrior, but it never stopped the true Maharaj. He was a master strategist who defeated Afzal Khan to his death in one-on-one combat. At the time when kings in India were busy resting on their laurels, he built naval forts and warships. He is also called Father of Indian Navy. One of the other names he is known by is the Mountain Rat. Given his guerrilla warfare tactics, his awareness of geography of his land, and guerrilla tactics like raiding, ambushing and surprising attacks on his enemies got him that name. He used his wit to flee Aurangzeb house arrest in Agra. He was one of the only rulers who stood up for women at that time. If anyone from his army touched a woman while raiding enemy land, he was severely punished. Number 2 on our list is Khutulun. Khutulun was the daughter of the Mongolian leader Xiahou and the niece of Kalibi Khan. She was described by not only Xiahou and Kalibi Khan to be a superior warrior, but also Marco Polo and other greatest warriors of the time made solemn statement of her skills. She assisted her father, the most powerful man in Asia, in various battles. She, being the ultimate badass, raised an army of horses and set out to conquer the world. She declared that she would marry the man who could defeat her in wrestling. Whoever lost had to surrender a couple of horses. She collected 10,000 horses for her army. In case you were wondering, she did get married. Rashid-ud-Din once wrote about her love story with Ghazan, the Mongol ruler. Melankomas of Caria is the third on our list. Melankomas of Caria was an ancient boxer, famous for never being touched by any opponent while fighting. Don't try to figure out the science behind that. It's pure skills and warrior genes. The legend has it that he could stand still with his guard up for 2 days continuously. The man fought in the field like he was playing a game, a rich game which he will always win. He said that during his entire career as an Olympic boxer, he never punched a guy. Why would you fight if you can make the other person look like a 5-year-old throwing his hands mindlessly in the air? 4. The Flame. Finally, a warrior whose name justifies his reputation. Flema, aka the Flame, was an ancient Roman gladiator. While other gladiators were busy fighting for their freedom, he refused his freedom 4 times. Can you believe that? 5. Vlad the Impaler. If you thought Vlad the Impaler is a pretentious name, this is the right time to know that he is famously known as Dracula. Oh yes, he was regarded as the Lord of Darkness. During his rule in Transylvania, the central region of modern-day Romania, he defeated many, including his famous win over the Ottoman Empire. Records suggest that he even managed to impress Pope Pius II with his fighting skills. Xiahou Dun. They say that craziness makes you excel at everything. Most definitely true for a warrior. Xiahou Dun offered his service to Cao and quickly became the military general. During one of the battles, an enemy arrow hit his eye. He pulled the arrow with his own hands and also swallowed his eyeball. This definitely terrorized his enemies, who started referring to him as Blind Xiahou, the one-eyed warrior. 7. Genghis Khan. The Mongol destroyer, as he is known, managed to conquer a quarter of the world's population. His men not only consider him the greatest man alive, but quite literally God's gift, which is exactly how to receive the name Holy Warrior. The craziest fact is that he has been titled the greenest invader in history. He actually eradicated 700 million tons of carbon from the atmosphere by hitting 40 million people. Finally, Alexander the Great. This is definitely a name you would expect to see on the list. Alexander the Great conquered an empire that stretched from the Balkans to the region today called Pakistan. He also fought on the front lines of every battle. He conquered Persia, India and Egypt among others while managing to remain undefeated.